Hey folks, 8-Bit Dave coming back at you with just another quick little crypto video, just to follow up on a few different subjects in all honesty. So about a year ago, I had made a video talking about the SHA-3 mining algorithm and Ethereum Classic and several proposals to change the mining algorithm. And so there was a change in the Ethereum mining algorithm, which reduced the DAG size to allow for smaller GPU cards to mine, which personally I feel is a good thing as a small miner. So people with 3 megabyte cards can still participate in the mining and thereby participate in the community. As we see, Ethereum is advancing on the POS front, or proof of stake. So that means eventually when they go full POS, there'll be a lot of GPU miners out there looking for a place to use their machines. And let's be realistic, if you aim your machine at a certain coin to mine it and you're part of that community, some might just dump, but others do try to participate in that community and thereby growing it. And I noticed on crypto Twitter this morning that the discussion of SHA-3 has come back, and there are points that I do like about it. For example, I had pointed out in my previous video, and I had left a link in there, that it's believed that it is quantum resistant to some degree, which is a good thing. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is essentially that there is schematics out there to do ASIC mining. I know, there's obviously a lot of people on the fence about it. Having a ASIC mined coin, and I believe eventually that happens to any mature coin, right? If you're going to pick an algorithm and stick with it permanently, eventually there's going to be Asics for it if it's a big enough coin that warrants people going through the effort to construct the ASIC. And that's not a bad thing. I just feel like if you're trying to create something and get new people in, you kind of need that onboarding ramp, kind of like with Bitcoin. Like, I remember I got into Bitcoin because I could mine it at home. I got interested in Ethereum and Ethereum Classic because I could mine it at home. For me personally, I got interested in things. I got onboarded through the mining, and that was an insignificant amount that I could mine for the most part of all these things. And then as you get involved in the community and learn how to mine it, then you might buy more to participate in it depending on what's going on in that ecosystem. For example, I've obviously purchased more Bitcoin than I've mined. I've purchased more ETH than I've mined because everything's happening on ETH at the moment with DeFi. And I feel like if you want Ethereum Classic to increase in users and user base, not only do you have to have projects and stuff, but you need kind of like a freemium onboarding ramp to get people involved in it. And I think this is always a good thing, because really, when you look at the Ethereum Classic ecosystem, it is, kind of like a ghost town. There's tumbleweeds blowing around, and that isn't to say there isn't development. I realize the Manits Wallet has just been released. There doesn't seem to be a lot of users for it, but that's, input output Hong Kong there, IOHK with Hoskinson there. And so there is stuff going on. I had mentioned in a previous video about a DeFi project that is on Ethereum Classic, and I did get involved with it for a bit, and I tracked some progress early on. And that would be the Commonwealth Smart Contract. So I'm going to show that at the end of the video. So yeah, like the buzz about the SHA-3 last month, ETC Cooperative posted a Medium article which I'll link to. And, you know, you just look at some of the comments and, you know, it echoes the same concern I have. Well, you want people mining in their garage to be part of your ecosystem. So I feel like the changes they've made to the mining is good. I think they just need to pick a lane and pick it permanently. I know you can have a mining algorithm like say X11 or X13 where you have a whole number of functions that have to be done in order to mine a block successfully, kind of like say Ravencoin does that, and it's kind of at a bit of a random thing, which algorithms which hoops you're gonna have to jump through, we'll put it that way to layman's terms. And I feel like your best bet would be to have SHA3 as part of that kind of algorithm. And again, I'm just a big believer in GPU mining and the freemium onboarding that can happen that way, because it's really easy to help get other people involved in crypto of a technical nature, because a lot of these people have a very powerful GPU. So I tend to tell people like gamers and stuff who hear about crypto and they ask questions, I would say, well, what kind of GPU do you have? And that's how I kind of set them up down that road. Well, let's try before you buy. And, you know, here's something you can mine when you're not playing games, just on your computer. And once they learn about it and it becomes of interest, then they can choose what they want to do with that knowledge moving forward. And so that's kind of my stance on it. I don't really follow Ethereum Classic as much. Many of you who've watched this channel previously know I'm pretty big into ETH, and there's one reason for that, and that is the Hex project, which is a staking coin, and essentially you just lock up your coins and it pays you interest. So you pay holders rather than paying miners. And so that project, I've done fairly well on it. So I'm really excited for that going forward. Most of my videos recently have been about Hex. Now, before Hex came into existence, I had gotten involved in this Commonwealth project, which is a similar idea. It's kind of a crypto savings account, or some people might think of it as a bit of a game per se. Essentially, you deposit your Ethereum Classic into the contract, it holds it there, and whenever you do that, a tiny slice is taken away to pay a fee to others who are in there. And then people who are holding the Commonwealth points, they receive a dividend based on interactions with the contract. So I've been in it for a year. I recorded my first few weeks. In total, I had deposited roughly, 11 ETC, not a big amount. It's just something that I'd mined and was sitting there and wasn't doing anything with it anyway. So I figured, let's try out something. And during that ETC bull run about 8-9 months ago, the value went up substantially. And since then, as you can tell by any coin market cap site, that it's roughly in a 40 position, so it's not doing so hot. Where I stand on that project overall, as I did say I'd do a follow-up, I kind of am not excited about any gains I did there. I have removed dividends and ETC from the contract, so I can vouch that that works. It seems to pay out just fine. I have no issues with it. I'm still going to leave the rest in, as I'm just curious to see in another year, like with the small quantity, really what am I going to lose? So I'm just going to keep leaving it in, and I've been pulling dividends out for a few months. I kept reinvesting the dividends, and in all honesty, after about a year, I'm pretty much where I started. Other than maybe half a ETC worth of dividends I pulled out. I don't have really any gains to report, but I can say it's a working contract. It's an interesting idea, and that was one thing I had always felt was lacking in the crypto space, is a way to passively save, to have passive income that was completely on chain, where you didn't have to worry about a third party or all kinds of problems. And you wanted something, of course, that's not a security. And so that's why I had gotten involved with it. Overall, like comparing the Hex contract versus the Commonwealth, I personally feel like Hex has magnificently outperformed. So hence, you know, most of my time and interest is focused on that. And that's just me being honest. You know, if you're interested in the Commonwealth project, say you have an ETC kicking around, I'm going to leave a link for it down below if you want to check it out. It is a referral link, so I think I get like a penny or something if anybody were to ever click on it. And again, you know, I personally wouldn't dump a bunch of coin into it, but you know, if you just want to experiment and interact, like, you know, I had started interacting years ago, or well, yeah, a year ago with Uniswap and DeFi on ETH, and look where it went off to. And so, you know, it's been an exciting journey, and the ETC network as a whole isn't there yet. And this is just one of those first projects. And I do feel like eventually ETC will have a time to shine. I'm not extremely bullish on it at the moment. I have no reason to be. I mean, really, there needs to be more going on in the space, more reason to use it. And let's face it, I have ETC trapped on exchanges that I can't even move because of all the 51% attacks they suffered. So really the only way I am accumulating any at the moment is periodically I still GPU mine it a little bit, and then I just have it sent directly to my wallet, because anything I have purchased on exchanges is just forever stuck because everybody has their wallet disabled, or they want like 20,000 confirmations or something like that. And all of this really hampers the ETC ecosystem. That's why I believe firmly in just, hey, let's do an algorithm change so we're not getting 51% attacked, especially from Asics that were designed for Ethereum, right? You know, those are the ones that have the ability to conduct the 51% attack. So once ETC is stable and it doesn't have a 51% attack for a long time, and they have a radical change on the algorithm, I'm happy to look at it again and be a little more involved in that community. I guess one thing that would be exciting for me would be to see a bridge built, a trustless bridge, kind of like how there's REN for Ethereum, where you can move Bitcoin onto Ethereum without third-party involvement. Because using like CoinSwitch and these things, I've had them glitch. I've always had the transaction eventually go through, but you know, once there's more bridges, or even kind of like what xDai has, where you can actually take Ethereum assets, move them off chain, and then trade them on HoneySwap, and you can conduct business and avoid all the high gas fees. You know, if Ethereum Classic took that route, I'd get more excited about it. So in all honesty, I'm gonna say I'm kind of neutral to slightly bearish on ETC at the moment. I am neutral on the Commonwealth project. I'm not bearish nor bullish. I would get bullish if I saw more excitement on the ETC chain, in all honesty. Then I would think, well, now this savings idea for the Ethereum Classic network might have the ability to gain traction. But till that point, yeah, I couldn't even add to it if I want to, really, other than coins I mine myself, because I can't get anything off of an exchange. So I have no reason to be bullish on it. And again, I'm not trying to crap on anyone's work or their project or whatever the case is. There are risks involved in it. I mean, everybody could pull out at once and stuff like that, and I'm well aware and I understand it. Before you ever put a coin into anything, make sure you understand everything. Read the white paper, you know, have an idea of what you're doing. Just understand that what I'm telling you is just my own personal thoughts. It's not financial advice. I'm not suggesting anybody invest into anything one way or another. So yeah, like my 1 year update on my thoughts on ETC, that's pretty much where it stands. I'm, you know, neutral to slightly bearish on ETC. I'm neutral on the one interesting DeFi project I did find, and that's the Commonwealth. I'm honestly, at this point, I'm somewhat neutral on Ethereum too. I feel like it's had a big run, so I'm not interested in accumulating more at this price. Same thing with Bitcoin. I'm not buying any Bitcoin at this price. Really, the only thing I've been personally acquiring is a bit of Hex here and there. And I've been staking it and getting returns, and I'm happy with that. I did hold a chunk of REN, which is that bridge I was telling you about, and it's recently gone through, you know, a little bit of a pump where I dumped a big chunk of it and took some profits there. And the only reason I purchased REN was I was using it and I liked it. And, you know, to me, that's where I want to spend my time looking at things. What are things I'm using? And why am I using them? And if it's stuff I'm interested in, like Uniswap and Hex and REN, well, you know, if I'm using it, probably other people are. It has a strong use case. And so those kinds of things get most of my attention. Hence, that's why it's taken me a year to make a follow-up. So right at this moment here, I'm going to put on the screen my deposits and when I deposited and how many points I had in the Commonwealth smart contract. So as you can see, I started off with 5.1, and then, you know, in total, I deposited about 11 ETC. Now, let's take a quick peek at where it stands today. So that's my my balance in that smart contract, and as you can see, really, I'm not up or down that much. Like, you know, from day to day, if I check it, it doesn't excite me. It's not even something that I really check on every once in a while. So my personal thought is, I think if ETC picks up, that there would be some more interest in here. And that being said, you know, not to dump on the project completely, I have removed dividends from it a few times over the last year. So that was nice. So I was able to screw around with some other transactions. And then the last part of this video, I'm going to talk about something that I find interesting on ETC. A newer project that I discovered because of the Commonwealth cooperative project, and that was Saturn Wallet. Now, Saturn Wallet, the reason why I had to download it and install it is MetaMask doesn't handle the Commonwealth Smart Contract properly or very well. So I gave that wallet a shot, and I use it for all my Commonwealth interactions. I have it in a separate browser, so I run it using Brave, and then I use MetaMask on Firefox. Now, I actually like the Saturn Wallet. I am bullish on them long term as a project. I feel like it could be one of those sleeper projects. So for example, you look at Uniswap, you know, I was using it early because of Hex, and, you know, look what happened. I got free airdrops, like boom, here's unique tokens all over the place, and it was great. Now, the Saturn wallet already has tokens, so you're not going to get an airdrop from it. Their token sale is still going on. They have two. They have one on Ethereum, one on Ethereum Classic. And I picked some up on the Ethereum Classic chain just because, like I said, I had some ETC kicking around. So I've got just a little schnitzel amount. And, you know, if you look on Coin Paprika and you check out the Saturn DAO token, it's like low on the market cap. Like it's like so low, it's just right at the very bottom of their list. Like we're talking like thousands and thousands and thousands of coins down. So I feel like this could be a stellar opportunity. So if you are bullish on Ethereum Classic and you're like, oh, this is going to be huge and all that kind of stuff, I would say, you know, you get some ETC, but I would also look into the Saturn wallet. And I'll tell you another reason why is, so their token is also on ETH. Maybe one day there's a bridge between the two. That's speculation. However, I'll tell you one other reason why I'm pretty bullish on the Saturn wallet. I like it because it's easy to switch from Ethereum to Ethereum Classic. And oh yeah, MetaMask does that too. Well, you know what MetaMask doesn't do as awesome? It doesn't interact with xDai. Saturn Wallet interacts beautifully with xDai, which is the Ethereum sidechain, which I've personally been using to take a lot of my tokens off of Ethereum because of the network congestion. You can't trade anything on there. I don't trade as much as I used to, again, because of Hex, but the little bit I do want to trade, I trade on the xDai sidechain, and I use the Saturn Wallet to do that, to interact with HoneySwap, which is a Uniswap clone. And man, if xDai catches on and MetaMask doesn't make it more compatible because it has trouble finding coins and interacting, and I don't know, like sometimes it looks like you've lost balances when you haven't, and I've tried desperately to use MetaMask in the past on xDai, and all your balances are still there. There's nothing to be worried about, but just sometimes it's buggy. And, you know, on Saturn Wallet, so far my experience has been flawless. So if xDai catches on, I feel like a lot of people might start using the Saturn Wallet, and they might use it because just with a click, you know, you've gone from ETC to ETH to xDai. And if one day there was bridges with all these three, oh man, like that would be something. So I'm pumped about this teeniest micro cap. In fact, I'll call it a pico cap project, and that is the Saturn wallet. So I feel that's my shining star out of the ETC ecosystem. And if I can ever get any of my ETC off of an exchange in a reasonable amount of time, I'm going to be picking up a little more of the Saturn wallet, like not much, but just a tiny amount, right? So that's where it lies for me. And sorry it took so long on the update. Honestly, like I said, I've been busy with Hex. I don't know how many times I said Hex. I feel like I should have a Hex counter, but that's where at the moment most of my excitement is. And if you don't know about it or you don't like it, I'm sorry for shilling it on you or promoting it. I'm excited, and that's why I make these crypto vlogs, is to share. So enough with my ramblings today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching.